Hey everyone. All right, so in today's vlog, we're going to talk about the concept of what happens when the universe wants you with someone. What are some of the signs? What does it look like and how does it work? So when there are universal forces that have something to do with your blueprint, you can't really mess with timelines. So when the universe aligns you with someone whom you're meant to have a long-term relationship with, but then things just kind of keep getting in the way. It might be 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, but like certain things keep getting in the way, yet you just end up coming back with that person, but yet other things will happen. And when I say other things, I mean like you have a life too. You may get busy. They have a life. They may get busy. But for some reason, over the years, you keep just coming back in alignment with each other, regardless of what you have done to step back, what the other person has done to step back. For some reason, this alignment keeps happening. If you're going through that, what does that mean? Because it's really confusing. And here is what I've come to know. What's happening when you keep bumping into that same person, given that their relationship is not abusive or chaotic or doesn't make you feel totally bad, the other person isn't demeaning. So just like the baseline here is that there is some sort of balance here. The other person gives you something and you give something to that other person. There's definitely attraction and you keep coming together. What is happening from a timeline perspective? If this relationship is in divine order and it's written for both of you to be, then even though there's people come together, then they separate, come together and separate, come together and separate. What's happening that you cannot see is that a union is happening in the background. Now, what that looks like is, I want you to, I always say that we are all God. We all have God within us. So if you visualize God to be a circle, okay? Now, if we all have God within us, then we also are a circle. We have a circle within us. That means that the other person that you're doing this separation, togetherness, apart, whatever, and it's not conventional, but you just keep going back. The attraction just leads you back. So imagine the other person is also God, right? So they have a circle. So what is happening, because the timing isn't right, but yet you're meant to be together, it's really important in these situations to not rush things or not demand things of the other person, or the other person not demand things of you, because the link can break. So if you allow this flow just to happen without too many expectations, I mean, we're human. This is very difficult to do, because someone's feelings will get hurt. Expectations are going to be created somewhere. But if you allow this to happen, as long as it's not disrespectful to either party, What is happening is if you're a circle and the other person's a circle, the universe is bringing you into alignment. And what happens every time you guys are probably together because you're releasing each other's karma. That's what relationships are all about. We're releasing one another's karma. We are releasing whatever mirrors the other person may show within us, not in the moment mirror. So not if he's angry, I'm angry, but now I need to control my anger. Not that. I'm saying a mirror that he might invoke within me from my childhood, which hasn't been dealt with. Those shadow sides. That's what relationships are about. So if you realize this and you kind of let the universe do its thing and come into, allow divine timing to flow, what is happening in the background that you do not see is if you're a God, you're a circle, he or she is God, he or she is a circle. In the background, these circles are starting to come together, and they're coming together, and they're coming together, and they are forming a link. And you know, within that link of the circle, so in this area where both of you are now linked, as this union keeps coming together, you begin to, when you meditate, if you see these circles start to amalgamate and come together and start to join, overlap, and they don't become one, but they begin to overlap, the union is beginning to happen. That is divine. That's how you kind of, like, that's how when you meditate, you can jump into timelines and figure out what is happening in the background. But this takes severe discipline, and this takes a lot of patience, and this takes a lot of yin energy and just being feminine. It does. But you have to know that there's something happening in the background that you can't see. And what that something that is happening is that you two circles, that's why the ring is a circle, and we exchange rings when we get married. It's so you can't see the rings yet, but these rings, universal rings, which represent God, are coming together, and they are starting to link. And within that link, when you begin to see your soul merging with the other person's soul within this link, it will happen if you meditate or journal. That's when your divine union has come to completion in the spiritual realm and will most likely come to fruition in this realm as well, in the 3D realm. So that's just my interpretation of when the universe wants you with somebody and what is happening in the background, even though you're hating it. Like, this person may be bringing up feelings and you may hate the way they treat you. Like, hate it, as long as it's not completely like hurtful to you, right? But they just trigger you. They trigger you and they trigger you and they trigger you. And there's a term called twin flames in spirituality that I know that goes around. I'm not a huge believer in twin flames. I'm more a believer in they're a separate entity. I'm a separate entity, but we're both God, and you're coming together, but you're coming together, two different people, gods coming together, overlap to form a union. That's what I believe. So it's kind of like that twin flame theory of like the other person just makes you crazy. It's because they're triggering your own shadow sides, like the deepest, ugliest shadow sides that you can't even imagine you still had. That's my interpretation of it. If you have any comments, let me know. Love you guys. Bye.